Alright, good morning Fragcom. Welcome back. My name is Jonathan. I've been away for a little while. I was on vacation, so I am back. We've got some work to do. We're going to finish off those top two shelves over there, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into three parts. So we'll have a top shelf trilogy, and since I've been away, I've accumulated quite a few hauls over here, and I was gonna incorporate those into the videos, but I think I'm just gonna separate it off and make it a whole video unto itself. So we'll make a haul video after we get done finishing up the collection here. So I've got quite a few things to go through here. So and I'm not gonna give these long dissertations. I'm just gonna kind of show what's on those shelves up there, and later down the road I'll give some of these great fragrances the conversation they deserve. So we'll do a little housekeeping, and then we'll just dive right in. Coffee cup of the day. Some of you may catch this reference. Such a great show, The Office. And scent of the day. Scent of the day is an oldie but a goodie. And this is Gucci 401. And I wanted to revisit this, and there's a guy named Rafi who has a great channel. If you ever get a chance, he goes on about this fragrance. And I wanted to revisit it, and I wanted to compare it and contrast it to this one. And this is Papyrus Oud 71, Parle-moi Parfums. And they're both Michel Amrac's, and they're both certainly the same composition, but done just slightly different, and I'm really on the fence about which one I like better. I like the spices, and it's a little richer, the Gucci 401. This one lasts a little bit longer, and I think maybe the papyrus in this one's a little bit nicer, but tough choosing which one I like more. But that's what I was doing today. That was my exercise of the day. Okay, we're just going to jump right in. We got about 30 or 40 to get through. First up, Louis by Guerlain, and I really like this fragrance. I like this fragrance a lot. In fact, I have a backup of it. This is smoke and leather, benzoin and vanilla, clove, I think, in the top. This is a really good fragrance. Okay. We're going to jump all over the place here. There's no rhyme or reason. This is a recommendation from my friend, the famous YouTuber. This is a wild fragrance. This is called Black Leather Jesus. And this is from a house called 555 Perfumery, and this is a crazy, skanky, raunchy, challenging leather, sexual almost, and it's fantastic. It really is good. Now, up close, it's really kind of challenging, but in the air, in the sillage, this is a great fragrance. This is a really good fragrance if you ever come across it. I think there's another one from this house that I need to check out called Tippy Toes. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the name. Okay, let's see. This is from a house that I've grown really fond of, and this is Corpus Equus. Corpus Equus by Naomi Goodsir. And this is a great leather. I've heard it dismissed as just a, like a harsh saddle leather, dry and whatever. But I think this is really well done, really well blended. It is a bit of a punch. It is a strong fragrance. There's no doubt about that. But I think Naomi Goodsir does good work. I hold her work up next to things like Neil Vermeer, Bertrand Duchefort, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's go to a fragrance no one's ever heard of, including myself. This is from a house called Ein Gedi, and this is Essence of Jerusalem. Don't ask me anything about it. I don't know. But this is the kind of fragrance, like, it's got really well blended florals, high pitched citruses, and a little booziness, and like a slight waft of smoke going through it. And this is the kind of fragrance, if you were ever in a religious bookstore, you'd expect to find this on a counter for sale. That's what this fragrance makes me think of. Makes me think of a bookstore. Really kind of a good fragrance. And I think there's a masculine and a feminine of this fragrance. Believe it or not, it doesn't say it, but I think this is the feminine version. But I still like it. Okay. We have two from the house of Donna Karan. And this first one is a flanker. Flanker of a fragrance called DK Men. And this is DK unleaded. And the bottle was designed by Donna Karan's late husband, Stephen Weiss. And what it's supposed to be is a fuel pump. You pump gas. He was a race car enthusiast, and he designed these bottles, and I think they're fantastic. Now, they discontinued this line, and I think when Donna Karan was bought out, they took those compositions and reintroduced them or reissued them, and they put it into this collection, and they named it Fuel for Men. And Fuel for Men is maybe one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. It's just so good. Now, I don't know how close this is to DK Men. I'd love to be able to maybe swap samples with somebody that has DK Men so that we can compare and contrast. But this is on its own a fantastic fragrance, and this collection has a few bangers in it that I'd like to check out. Okay. This is my travel fragrance. For some reason, I started wearing this a few years back whenever I fly, and I don't know. It's kind of a closer to home fragrance. It's not a bombastic. It lays a little low, but it is so good. This is called A Notice by Pure Distance, and this is an Antoine Lee creation, whom I am a big fan of. Wonderful fragrance, and like I said, every time I fly I put that on. It's like my good luck charm. Okay, and not a million miles away from that one is this one. This is another famous YouTuber recommendation. This is Casual Friday by Escada. This is a fantastic fragrance. It's really a shame Escada doesn't make stuff like this anymore. I have a backup of that to let you know how good I think that is. Okay, we have two from the house of Andy Tower, and this is Au Coeur du Desert. Now, I don't know if this came before or after L'air du Desert, but I prefer this one. It's just better, in my opinion. Not that L'air du Desert is bad. L'air du Desert is an all-time fragrance. And this one is Lone Star Memory. Lone Star Memories, pardon me. And this is another good transportive fragrance. It really does make you feel like you're riding horseback and, starting a campfire at night, and spices of cooking. Great. I wouldn't mind locating a bottle of Lonesome Rider, which I hear is excellent. But unicorn stuff, so who knows, maybe someday. We have three from a favorite house of mine, and this one is Ottoman Empire. And Ottoman Empire is, when I first smelled it, was one of the craziest things I ever smelled. This is when I first started getting into oud and some of the more challenging stuff. And when I first smelled this, I thought it smelled like a baby's diaper, like a soiled baby's diaper, and not in a good way. And but I have to say, over time, as my palate developed and my taste changed and I got more experience, I've not only grown to appreciate this one, but I've grown to love it. It's and Ariege Lador's work. This one didn't take long at all to appreciate. This is Siberian musk, and without reservation, I'll say this is one of the best musks that I've come across, and phenomenal citruses too. This one, probably my prized possession, probably my crown jewel, one of my crown jewels in my collection, and this is Russian Oud, and it is chocolatey, oudy goodness. It's fantastic. I've heard the argument time and again that Ariege leans on the quality of his materials to carry the weight of the fragrance, but I don't believe that to be true. Not only are the fragrance materials quality, but I think the brand, the blending, the creativity, all of it is phenomenal. I'm a big fan of his work, and I'll continue to add stuff to my collection from his house. And from Ariege to Bortnikov, this is Oud Maximus, and Oud Maximus is a fantastic fragrance. It's oud to the 10th power. It's very challenging. It's a real power plant of a fragrance, but I dig it. And there are a few other Bortnikovs that I wouldn't mind adding to the collection. This is a phenomenal fragrance, and it's again one of my crown jewels. And this is The King from Odyssey the Victorious, and this is a beautiful plum, smoky plum, labdanum, boozy fragrance, luxury on top of luxury with this one. You can see the dent I put in that. This is a good fragrance. There's more from the house that I would like to try, but it's pricey, and they're one of those houses that puts out so much stuff you don't know where to start. You know, I kind of caught the a review on this, and I heard the notes and I went after it. But there's so much stuff out there and so little information and reviews that I don't know where to start, so I've kind of given up. I kind of just got that one and I'm good. Okay, this is, I have a number of things from Prin Lamras. I have the Parfums Persona, and there are a few things from Strangers that I wouldn't mind adding to the collection. And then I have this, and this is from another one of his houses called Prin Parfum, and this is Taiga, and this is a great fragrance. There's another one from Prin Parfums that's called Turkish Leather that I wouldn't mind adding to the collection, but this one is phenomenal. This one is Olabanum and Patchouli and Cypriol, and really very good. Really very good. Okay. Here's another plum fragrance, as I am a fan, and this is fantastic. This is Ombre Kandahar by Unui Nomad, and this is a smoked plum. There's no other way to say it. It's not smoky. It's smoked. It's really a cold weather fragrance. It makes me think of the holidays. That's what this is. And I would think of all of these, pricey things, that this would be the one I'd probably replace if I ever ran through it. It's that good. Okay, this is, believe it or not, the only one from this house that I have in my collection. I have a lot of decants of it, but this is my only one from the house so far, and this is Rhinoceros by Zoologist, and I love this. This is the first coming of Rhinoceros, by the way. I have Ellen Covey's Night Flyer, which is the old bat. And I wouldn't mind adding Squid and Sacred Scarab, which I've smelled recently, to the collection. But so far I have this, and I'm not upset about it. I wouldn't even mind adding T-Rex to the collection. I like this kind of stuff. I like this challenging, crazy off the wall stuff. That's a great whiskey fragrance. Okay, let's see. Here's one of my favorites, and this is the original version of Eau Noir, and this is the cologne version. I don't know how well you can see that. This is the cologne version of Eau Noir, and I don't know if they're taking a piss with that name, cologne, because it certainly doesn't smell like a cologne. This is a strong fragrance, but I love it. It's such a good fragrance. Look at that juice. Such a great color. I don't know why they changed the color on the new one, and I'm almost afraid to try the new one. I don't want to lose an idea of Eau Noir. You know what I mean? I just want there to be a singular idea about Eau Noir. Okay. This is the only one I have from this house, and I don't know, I just never got into this house. I've smelled other things, and there are other good things from this house, but this is the only one I have for some reason, and this is called Indochine by Xerjoff. And this is a wonderful fragrance. Yeah, like I said, I don't know why or what, but the house just doesn't speak to me, I guess. I don't know. But that one is wonderful. Okay. Let's see. This is from the house of Bogue. And this is called Oe. And this is a wonderful fragrance. It's kind of a throwback fragrance. I really like what he does with his materials. They're very good natural materials, and he uses oak moss and uses high-grade citruses. And this is an old school fragrance in a modern bottle. And I've only got this partial, but I would love to have a full bottle of it so I can wear it more liberally. Alright, let's see. This is from a small house that not a lot of people know and talk about, but I really like some of his work, and it's a perfumer out of Los Angeles. His name is Chris Russick, and this is Relief, and you can see the name of it written down underneath the bottle, and you can look through it and see it. RLF, that's what he named it, Relief. Chris Russick's, I don't know if he's still making perfumes. His house may be defunct, but I'm glad I have this one. This is a really good fragrance. This is like kind of an papyrusy, boozy fragrance. Okay, let's see. I think this is the only one I have from this line. And I've smelled quite a few from this line, and I like this line a lot. And I'm glad to have this one in particular, and this is Queer Majesty by Giorgio Armani. It's good stuff. I mean, it's so spicy, luxurious leather. It's top notch for sure. Okay. These were just on that shelf up there, and they kind of hold a sentimental value for me. This is called Boyfriend by Kate Walsh, and you can see all the names. This is a women's marketed fragrance, but it's really very good. It's a spicy amber floral, not too far away from Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash, if you've ever smelled that. I have a couple of celebrity fragrances in my collection, and there are some good celebrity fragrances out there, and that's one of them. Okay, I've got two from this house. I actually have a third. I think I showed in my first video. Mask Milano. I showed Tango. This one is Kintsugi, and this is a really nice fragrance. considering. I love their presentation. I don't understand why though that they kind of get you on this 35 mil. You know, it's, I don't know. Make it 50 mil. You know, all right. So you want to make it expensive, and you don't want to give everybody 100 mils. Fine. At least make it 50. These are like 35 mil, I think. But okay, so this one is why can't I think of it? This one is Hemingway. Sorry. Love this fragrance too. Massimiliano makes good fragrances, and that Tango, I would say, probably my favorite of the three. Break that out in the winter. That's a good cold weather fragrance. Speaking of cold weather fragrances, I have two from the Alchemist Garden collection, and there's a smoke bomb called Voice of the Snake. Look at these bottles. I really like these bottles. They're like, you know, that old alchemy kind of containers. I really do. This one is really good. It's resinous and smoky. It's really very nice when you get to know it. But I think I might like this more, and probably because of the papyrus. And this one is Hortus Sanitatis. And this one is a really transportive fragrance. It really does make you feel like you're in a alchemist's lab, you know, with the materials smell antique to me. If you catch what I mean, like they're not old smelling materials, but the materials give this feeling of antique materials and antique furniture and antique books, and really an interesting fragrance. I love this. I've only had it through last winter, and I put a solid dent in that, and I will this winter too. Okay, this everybody knows of, and I believe this is another Antoine Lee, and this is Vanille Havane. And Vanille Havane is very good. Boozy, chocolatey vanilla. Very rich. Very, very rich. I gotta be in the mood for that one. Okay. This is the only one I think this is the only one I have. This is Nasamato's Barawanda. And I like this. This is kind of in that whiskey, kind of a same vibe as Rhinoceros. But this one is blended with a smoothness that's like, it's like double smooth. It's really very good. Okay, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We have two from the House of Slumberhouse, and this one is Back, and this one is Jeek, or Jeki, or Jeeki. I don't know how you say that. Jeke. These are wonderful fragrances. Look how dark that juice is. You can't see through it. It's crazy. Such dark, rich fragrances. The fruits are just wonderful. Really nice. Both of those get a lot of wear in the winter, and you only need like one or two sprays. Here is this is another. I think this is a gift from my friend Duncan. I tell you what, he's really helped me in my collection along the way. This is called Saddle, or Sidel, by Svensk Parfums. Svensk? Yeah, Svensk Parfum. And this is what you get is saddle. You feel like you're smelling a boozy saddle fragrance, like leather. And what's funny about this fragrance is that that's exactly what I smell. The name leads you into thinking that this is a saddle fragrance. And then you look at the notes, and the funny thing is, once you look at the notes, which say butterscotch among them, then all of a sudden your brain switches and it becomes a rich kind of gourmandy fragrance with that butterscotch. It's crazy. That's why I like to test fragrances and get to know fragrances before I even look at the note breakdown or hear any talk of a fragrance, because I want to build it up in my brain and in my palate before I'm swayed in any way. Okay, and I've saved two of the best for last, and these are my first and hopefully not my last Frederick Malle, and this is the Moon, and I love the Moon. It's fantastic. It's I don't have to tell you too much about these. And this one is the Night, and the Night is fantastic too. Dominique Ropion, he killed it on this one. This is oud in a classy way. Like, this is oud done with a big budget. I don't know how much oud is in here. I don't know if the oud here is better than an oud you'd find in Bortnikov or a Riege, but whatever oud they did use here is very good. And I don't think it's nearly as challenging as some people say it is. I think it's palatable. I think after you get used to it, and it's another one of those fragrances that's better in the sillage than it is, jamming your face into it. And I like the Moon as well. I'd be hard pressed to choose a favorite between the two, but Julian Rasquinet, if I'm not mistaken, yes, and he does good stuff. So that is part one of the Top Shelf Trilogy. I will be back sooner rather than later with part two, and I want to appreciate everybody and all the love and all the comments. If there's anything about these fragrances that you can teach me, anything you can point me in the direction of, something new that I need to look at, drop it in the comments. I love the interaction in the comments. I appreciate everybody. Y'all have a great night. Peace.